everybody, I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome back to my channel. I don't know how this video is going to go because I have two predators sitting here pretending not to notice that I have yarn out, and they're probably going to attack it because that's what they do. So let's see how far we get in this continuous motifs video. So this method I believe originated in Japan. I've seen a couple other American designers try to bring this over and popularize it, but it's really never taken hold over here to my knowledge. But it originates from books like this, and I don't know what it says, but it's okay because of symbol diagrams, yay! And I was looking for the year in here to see when it was written, and I don't see a year, so I don't know. I don't know when it was written, but there's very, very few words of English in it. It is written from left to right. It might be 2008 when this book came out, I'm guessing. So Mara, if you're watching, if you could tell me. Okay, printed in Japan, 2008. So probably 2008. We are grateful. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, it is written or read from left to right, which I know many Japanese books go the other way, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, we can read this because of symbol diagrams. And I have never really played with this method much, but here's the cover in case you want to try to find it yourself. I've never really done this method. I do like it. I think it's very pretty, but I'm not sure that I am going to continue it if it's, I don't know, worth my effort. I think the reasons why you would do it is because you don't have to cut the yarn. And so then there's no ends to weave in except the beginning and the end. So that's really wonderful. The thing with this method is you have to decide immediately how wide your piece is going to be, and it grows this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. So you need to know like the outer width of your pattern right away from the beginning. So you need to think of that, like how many across are you going to make before you turn and go back. So that's important for you to know ahead of time. So there's less organic nature to this, and you have to be a little bit more deliberate. So here's my little swatch that I'm working on. So I don't know how much I'll be able to teach you today because it's fairly complex, and so I don't know how it's going to go. So let's start here a little bit. I am using this cotton, and I was using an H size hook, but I think we're going to crochet on a worsted weight yarn with a K size hook so that we can see it a little bit better. So essentially, we start with a really long chain, and the chain starts way over here, and you chain a bunch, and then you make a lollipop by single or slip stitching in like the 9th stitch or 8th stitch from the hook, and that's what creates that lollipop. And you go around here, and then you go away over here, and then this becomes the foundation or beginning chain for the next motif. And then you go around, and then you join here and here and here, and then you start this one, and then you would start the next one over here, and then eventually you would go all the way back and back. Okay, so it's pretty hard to follow, which is why I'm going to spend a little bit of time teaching it right now. So sorry about the shadows here with Muffin in the way. Let me bring the camera even closer down to the stitch pattern. So let's road map it here before we get started. So this is motif number 1 with the parentheses, motif number 2 with the parentheses, and then motif number 3 is over here. We're going to start here. So starting, Muffin, don't ruin my yarn, Muffin. We're going to start here with the blue. The blue is the beginning chain. we're going to have a beginning chain of 14. That I do know that that's what that number is here. So we're going to have a beginning chain of 14. Then the dots are slip stitches. So in the, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th, in the 8th chain from the hook, we're going to slip stitch in 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Okay, so let's do that, and we will continue to, I'm probably going to have to continue to rise the camera up and down for you as we work so that you can get a better sense. And I need probably that stitch marker back. Let's grab one. All right, so I'm going to grab a stitch marker. It's helpful to have a stitch marker to mark the front side of motif number 1. And also, I'm going to have to put some books down to hold it down. Also, all of these motifs are worked on with the right side facing. So there's no like flipping or turning left to right. Okay, so let's take a bigger yarn and a bigger hook to get started. I hope that you are going to find this pattern a valuable, reliable, relaxing, and valuable, and reliable too. Relaxing and valuable use of our time. Please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you're interested in crochet content. And of course, I pull out the one ball of yarn where I can't find the beginning, because that's just the way my luck has been lately. So let's pull out from the middle. Okay, let's see what we can do. I've come to stuffing the skeins of yarn in my kangaroo pocket of my sweatshirt because this little one is going after my yarn crazily, no matter where I put it. So I'm having a hard time getting any crocheting done with little Miss Muffin around. And I don't want to take the time to unravel this ball at the moment. So I'm just going to cut a new tail. Okay, Muff. Okay, Muff, you need to sit still, sweetheart. So like I said, I do know that that beginning chain 14 is a thing. So I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook. I'm making an extra big hook just so, because it's a learning swatch, so I will have plenty of room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we established that I'm going to slip stitch in the 8th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that makes the lollipop part of my beginning. This is the foundation where the motif will start to build. Now let's bring the camera down a little bit. Let's see if that helps. So the next thing we're going to do is slip stitch. Since I slip stitched once, I'm going to slip stitch 3 more times, 1 in each of the next couple of stitches. So 1 in each of the next 3 stitches to be precise. 1, 2, I have to keep my hands in frame since I've got my camera so low today. 3. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is, since we have slip stitched into 3 stitches, we're going to start that beginning cluster. So if you see a cluster in the middle here, it is a 2 double crochet together cluster. So these right here are, there's 1 yarn over because there's 1 little hash mark, and they're tied together or pulled together with a little cap on top, and they're both in the same area. They're bow-legged. So that means they go in the same stitch or space. So this beginning chain of slip stitch of 4 is half of that first double crochet cluster 2 together. So in the circle is where we're going to make the other half of that. So we're yarning over, inserting, yarning over, pulling through 2 loops on the hook, and then pretending we're pulling the cluster together. So that actually counts as the first cluster. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this right here, this loop number 1, we're on round 1 of this motif, and this is round 2 of the motif. We're on round 1 of the motif. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ovals, which means 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are doing another 2 double crochet cluster together in the same space, and then chain 5, and then cluster, chain 5, cluster, chain 5, cluster, chain 5. And we're going to do that until we already did the first one. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them, okay, when we're done. Because I'm going to pull the camera back up a little bit so I have room for my hands. And we will, now that we have 1, and we know the pattern is 2 double crochet cluster. So start a double crochet but don't finish it. Start a double crochet but don't finish it. Then yarn over and pull through everything. And then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to have a total of 12 of them. We now have 2 of them made because the first one was like a beginning one and it counted. So we're going to just go ahead and place these right in the loop, in the big lollipop. We're not placing them in the stitches themselves, but we're placing a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if this hook is going to be too big and it's going to end up ruffling too much, or ruffling too much, but I did want it to get you bigger stitches than the cotton that I had been working on with the smaller hook. 3, 4, 5. Tell me hello if you like this kind of more advanced lessons, or if you like the more basic things. And if you want me to make sure and keep going with this kind of content, please let me know with a comment below. Please like and subscribe no matter what, because hey, it really helps me out and it helps other crocheters find this content. So I do appreciate it. Also, don't forget that I do have affiliate links in the description below, including a link to Amazon, which may or may not be working depending on what somebody had commented the other day. But, oh, I think it was. I think she just had trouble finding the book. But anyway, I get a little kickback from your sale, but it does not cost you anything at all if you decide to follow those affiliate links and make a purchase. So if you're going to make a purchase anyway, then help a girl out. But if you're not making a purchase, it's no big deal, and it will not add anything to your bill wherever you happen to shop. Okay, let's see where we are. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I have, so here's my beginning tail. We're just going to pretend that's not there for now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this will be loop number 8. So go ahead and finish with these double crochet 2 togethers. This one is number 9, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains. And we're not actually going to finish with 5 chains after the 11th one, because we're going to join in a funky way. 4, 5, I think that was 10. Double crochet 2 together. I think this is number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to want to have 12 of them, so let's go ahead and count. Yeah, so we're going to get some ruffling here because my hook is so big. So we have, with my hand here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cat hair, 7, 8, 9, 10. This makes number 11. So we've got a double crochet 2 together cluster. So this one is number 12. Sorry about the camera there. So instead of doing a chain 5 after this one, and because I'm having trouble staying focused, let me go ahead and count one more time. Count backward this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So is that right? Am I missing one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need one more. So 1, 2, is that right? Let's count the clusters this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so we have our working yarn here. We have the beginning of our chain huddled back here behind. And now, instead of doing chain 5 to then join to this spot, we are going to, let's get closer here. Let's get a little closer. We are going to, so this is our 12th cluster. So here was our 11th cluster. We chained 5. Here's our 12th cluster. We're chaining 2. And then on the blue original chain 14, we will slip stitch, that's what the dot is, in the third, you know, the last one. It's the last chain there. Oh, here comes Muffin. She keeps shaking the table, everybody. I'm so sorry. So let's pull up here. So chain 2 and then slip stitch is where we're headed. So I chain 2. This is my little chain 2 here. And we're going to slip stitch in the last chain here of the beginning chain 14. Muffin, don't eat that, honey. I need it. I need it, Muffin. Little Miss Muffin. She's going to rip it. She's got really sharp little teeth, and she tends to actually break, let go, honey, break the yarn off, unlike Theo, who doesn't. Okay, so we've got our join now. Okay, so now what happens? How do we get over to number 2? So we get over to number 2 by starting the round 2 of this motif, but we're only going to go halfway around. So this is where we are right now, and we're just going to do a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet in that chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, single crochet, so that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 5 loops of round 2 of this motif, but then we're going to stop and go this way instead of going all the way around and completing it like we traditionally would do. So we're going to get over to here, and then we're going to chain 14 and start the next one. Okay, so here we go. And that beginning chain really ended up, that beginning circle really ended up huge, but hey, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I need to pull up the camera so you can see a little better, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and chain single crochet in the next chain 5 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And while I'm doing this, now that I'm going to mark the right side and call this motif number 1, and this is the right side, because this is going to come in handy when we're trying to figure out where the heck we are as we are building this motif. So here's motif number 1, and we're going to work this way, and then we're going to work that way. Okay, so we're still chaining 5 and single crocheting in each chain 5 loop for a total of 6 times, which is halfway around the circle. So these are all stitches that are familiar to you. It's just the method or how we're putting them together which might be new. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meanwhile, Muffin is observing when can she come and jump, and there's Theo back there on their trees thinking that they're going to pounce on me. So I know some of you really like to see them, so there you go. So we're chaining 5 and single crocheting in each of the chain 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure we don't keep going all the way around the circle, because that is my instinct to do, because that's what I've been doing for years. But we're not doing that today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then single crochet, and then we're done. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet. So that should make 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we're moving on to over here. So this is what we have so far. So we did half of round 2, and we've not like completed all the way around. So we've just done the bottom half, and we're going to stop, and now we're going to go to motif number 2. So what we'll do here is, here we are on the diagram. We're going to chain 14, and that's this blue thing here, and do the same thing for the first half of what we're doing. Okay. All right. So chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it is a really cool technique. And I do love that you can save yarn and take away all of the weaving in ends problem that so many people hate. But it does require you to lay it out on the table, find your stitch marker, make sure it's in the bottom corner where you started so that if you get lost, you can find your way again. Now remember, we are slip stitching in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th chain from the hook. And if I were to design something in this method, I would then take this pattern and change it. Like, I think the eyes of my circles are way too big, so I probably would reduce my number of loops, and I probably would change the stitches, because that's how designers work. We take something and then we move upon it differently. Okay, and then slip stitch in 1, 2, 3, that's those black dots, are slip stitching in the next chains of that beginning chain 3 with a 1, 2, and then 3. So we now have another lollipop here. So the beginning chain 14 is like the stick, and then the round part is the candy, and the candy part, the round part, is the beginning, the inner circle of the next motif. Okay, so after that, we are going to do what we did before and use that first chain 3 thing, slip stitch 3 thing, as the first leg of our first double crochet 2 together, and then chain 5, and then so on until we have 12 of them. Have I lost you yet? It is not an easy pattern. It is not an easy method. But if you're wanting a challenge, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just love learning something new, or just want to conceptualize how something new happens, then maybe this is the video for you. Please make sure you share this video with a friend who crochets or doesn't and wants to be inspired. But maybe don't send this to a beginner, because this is definitely an experienced method, and I don't want to scare newbie crocheters away by overwhelming them with stuff when they don't. Let's just make them happy and get them a nice project that makes them feel successful, because hey, crochet is a relaxing and valuable use of our time. 3, 4, 5, and I don't want to scare away other crocheters. Never. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will make sure that we have all 12 double crochet 2 togethers in here, because we will complete the round 1 of this second motif before we move on to the theoretical round 3. Now, on my little swatch before, I did not do another third one to the right, because I was anxious to learn how to stack them and go back. So I don't care what we do. And I mean, I guess we can do another one to the horizontal and then maybe do another video later if you want to see how the next step progresses. And maybe I'll do the next step in a different color so that you can see better, even though this is supposed to be an all-over lace pattern with one yarn with no cutting and no tails, because that's the advantage of it. Otherwise, you could just cut your tails and put whatever colors, whatever you want, which is the advantage of cutting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, a couple more. So I've learned my lesson. I now need to count the double crochets 2 togethers instead of the loops. So this would be number 10, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be number 11, I believe. I tend to lose track of counting while I'm talking. So I believe this is number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I stuffed the yarn in my kangaroo pocket of my sweatshirt. So it's not coming out super smoothly, but hey, it's keeping the cats at bay, which is a win. So then look at this. It got flopped down, so I have to keep flattening it out and making sure that I have it oriented correctly so that I know where I'm going. So when you do put it down, that stitch marker is going to be a lifesaver. Okay, I think This is the last double crochet 2 together, which means I'm only going to chain 2 this time and see what happens. Okay, so we're counting the double crochet 2 togethers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so at the end of our 12th one, okay, so at the end of our 12th one, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At the end of our 12th one, we're chaining 2, and we're slip stitching on that beginning stick of the lollipop 2 chains up above that stitch, okay? And then we're going to go this way and join onto the previous motif and then go around halfway before we start the next motif, okay? You see in the circuitous road that we are traveling? So we are chaining, we chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm laying it out flat. I'm finding the stick of a lollipop here. So 2 stitches above where that double crochet 2 together is, I'm going to place a slip stitch, and that sort of joins it to finish the round right there. And then I'm going to chain 2 and slip stitch in this chain 5 loop of the previous motif. So chain 2, 1, 2, and then lay it out if you have to. Here's the chain 5 loop of the previous stitch, previous motif. So I'm going to slip stitch in there. Then I'm going to chain 2. So we're just using a chain 5 and we're splitting it in half. So if you're familiar with the join as you go method, that's what's going on here. Then I'll single crochet on the new motif in the chain 5 loop, and then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the new motifs, chain 5 loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the next chain 5 loop of the new motif, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe that there are 6 of them like there were last time. So let's see where we are. Okay, so laying it back down again, always using our stitch marker as a reference. So we have here, this one counts as the first one. That's this one here is this one here. And then we have this one, this one, this one. So I need to do one more and then one more. So this one has to join, oop, wrong hook, with a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe I'm single crocheting here and then I'm done. Now I'm going to double check my work by subtracting and seeing how many abandoned loops I have left over here. So over on the top hemisphere of this motif, I'm going to stop and not work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see if that matches our diagram. So if I do the loops over here for round 2, and then I stop here and then begin the new stick of the lollipop, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops that are abandoned on the northern hemisphere of this motif. You got it? See, I'm not working these right now. I'm actually going to work these later when I come back. So now we are ready to abandon these last 5 and leave them alone. We'll get them later. But we're going to chain 14 and make another motif here. And then we'll go all the way around on this row 2 and join, and then do the row 2 of this one, and then do most of the row 2, or part of the row 2 of this one here, and then go back up. And it won't be until we finish the height of our work before we come around and finish that final couple of loops and join to our beginning chain. Whew. Are you right? Are you all right? Are you following along? You got me? So let's do this together, or I'm going to let you do this on your own rather. So we're going to make another one just like this one, but instead of getting around at 6 and stopping, I'm going to go all the way around to here. And then maybe we'll pick up there on the next video. What do you think? What do you think of this method? Did you stick through all the way to the end? If you did, give me a thumbs up and make a comment at the bottom saying, hey, I stuck through all to the end. I am a superstar. So I will see you on the next video. But thanks for hanging out with me today, because crochet is a relaxing and valuable use of your time. And I'm Ellen Gormley. See you later. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ellen Gormley. I hope that you spent the last few minutes with a relaxing and valuable use of your crochet time. If you've not seen the last video, click up here if you've got a few more minutes. If you have seen it, here's another one I think you might really like. But everybody, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. See you next time.